In this video, I will explain you error handling in SAS Macro. We will also discuss why it is required and how it saves time. What you need to understand, other programming languages like Java, Python, when they encounter error, they stop execution. However, SAS will continue to execute even if there is an error. For example, let's say if the dataset is not existing and you want to do certain things like you want to do proc contents, you want to do proc univariate, proc freq on that dataset which is not existing, ideally there is no point. But SAS will keep executing. Let me show it to you how it does, and then I'll show you how you can handle it. So let me first demonstrate that it actually happens. So here is the macro, very much the macro that we have used in workout 1. Let me submit this macro. Now this macro is available. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to create a dataset called check. Let's see. By using the cards statement, now the dataset is check. Now look at what I have done here. Purposefully I have passed check underscore 1. And look at in the macro what you are doing. You are first doing proc contents, right? And because this dataset does not exist, the out content will not get created. Then when you will try to do this, obviously it will give an error. There is no point going ahead and doing all these things. But let's look at what happens. When I'm submitting this, obviously for a dataset which does not exist, let's see what happens. It gave an error message which was expected, and look at what has happened. In the beginning it says that the error is not there, but still it tries to execute proc SQL. And you will not like to see something like that. In fact, it might happen that at times, it can probably insert some data into database, and then you will have to clean that database. Probably it can send report to half the people when the data is not right, and probably you will encounter lot of questions which you like to avoid. So what is the way out? Let me explain you the syntax which can help you and how it works. So there are two methods which can help you in handling error in SAS Macro. So I'll explain you these error handles. Error handles use two kind of macro. One is called sys error. This sys error is actually not 0 when there is an error. So when only the situation when it is correct, it is equal to 0. In any kind of error, it is not equal to 0. And this is what you can use to stop the program. Rather knowing that there is an error. Now let me explain you how you can stop it. To stop the program, you need to use the command called %abort cancel. When you are using %abort cancel, it asks SAS to stop execution immediately so that it won't execute further steps which are not required anyway. These two steps can help you a lot. I will show you that how I am using these steps along with SAS error text to get to know the description of error, and also how I am ensuring that my code is not lengthy. So what I have done here, let me show it to you. What I have done here, I created a macro, a small macro, where I am putting run quit. There is a trick here. In fact, I want to intend to use this macro in lieu of everywhere where I am using run. So run and quit is part of this macro. I am doing if sys error then do. Obviously when it is 0, it won't execute, but when there is any kind of error, it will put in the log that there is error incurred. It will put error detail because I am putting SAS sys error text, and I am also using abort cancel. So what it will do, it will stop execution of further steps. Let me show it to you. So what I have done here, I run this command. So the macro is available in the memory. Now what I have done here, I created new macro get var dist underscore 1, and look at everywhere where I was putting run, I have put error check. I have put error check. In fact, in place of quit also I can put error check. I can copy and paste it here, right? And let's look at what will happen. Now when I run this macro, so here I'm just creating this new macro where I have replaced run by error check, and let's look at what happens. So now this time, in lieu of calling this macro, I will call var dist underscore 1, where I have replaced run by error check macro. Let's look at what happens. So look at, it found error, right? Data does not exist, and it said it cannot be replaced. And look at what happened. The SAS stopped error, right? Because of abort cancel. And you can see that it has put in the log error encounter in macro execution, and here is the sys error. What sys error has got? Sys error resolved to this particular data set does not exist. So if you look at, I got the detail, and I got the detail at one place that it stopped executing. This is the error, and abort cancel ensured that I am not going to do the other step. If you look at last time, it was trying to do proc SQL, which it did not try to do this time. Last time it was trying to do this, which it did not try to do this time. And that's the advantage of putting %abort cancel. Let me show you that it does not create any problem when there is data set exists and it should ideally run. So let's say now I'm putting check and see it will work, because this ampersand error will lead to 0, so it won't do anything. It will just simply look at here, this this percentage error will lead to 0, so it won't execute anything. It will just put run or quit in lieu of percentage error check when the data exists. Let me show it to you. Looks like there is an error. Okay, these are libname errors, so doesn't matter. I mean, let's take a look at the result. So it created the proc fric, it created univariate, everything it has done what was expected from this macro. So what you need to understand, when the data exists, it works very fine. When the data does not exist, it stops execution then and there only, so that it does not execute further steps which are not required. And also what you need to understand, because of this, my code is not lengthy. I'm not putting abort, cancel and everything everywhere. I'm just calling this macro and everything is getting done. So that way, my small change in lieu of putting run, putting error check is helping me, and it is able to give me, it is able to stop the program when it encounters error.